So my delivery for the APA Ready Rack for the ground mount solar arrived. It's basically the end of September, and next week I have a guy coming over. We're going to drive the post in the ground and at least get those set for me. I inventoried everything. One, it's a 1,000-pound pallet for 20 panels, and it was kind of hard to maneuver off the truck. The truck that came didn't have a forklift. It just had a lift gate. So getting this thing slid out precariously onto the lift gate and down and then off the lift gate, it took me and the driver both to do it. He didn't know that I was not going to have a forklift here. It's like, well, it's residential, I don't own a forklift. But went through, did kind of a quick inventory. All of the clamps for the solar panels. Those are the anchors that'll be screwed into the ground. These boxes have the extensions to bolt the channel together, and got all the cabling, and these are for grounding the panels so that you don't have to run a ground from panel to panel to panel. These things lock onto each adjoining panel, so you just ground them at one point. And this is what I wasn't sure of, and I'm certainly glad it's included. So this is the adapter that gets attached to your auger on for your post hole digger, and it gets mounted there, and then this end will go into the pipe, and there's a pin that goes through it that'll let you drive the posts into the ground. So that's that. I'll take you around here and show you where I'm putting this ground mount. We're going to be on the south side of this garage and facing directly south. So I've already kind of done the layout here where the white flags are. 8 posts total, 4 on the front, 4 on the back. They're 80 inches apart, and then 9 foot 2 inches in the east-west direction. So I basically used a tape measure, laid this all out, and got it figured out. The guy that I have is going to come and help me drive these post anchors into the ground. Has a laser level system. This is the highest point. So from this corner down to the far corner, it's about a 20-inch drop, maybe 18. So this pole is probably going to be buried slightly underground, and then the one on the other end will be slightly above ground to get the anchors to the right depth. And I'm going to verify my placement for south. Today it just so happens that it's at 1:10 and 2 seconds. We'll be at solar noon, and so I plan on using a pole so that I can cast a shadow from this flag to that flag to verify that I'm perfectly lined up with south. And I got that data off of the NOAA website. So if you just do a Google search, NOAA solar noon, you can get the website. You can put in your longitude, latitude coordinates, and it'll tell you exactly what time solar noon will be for your location. And then you can cast a shadow. So the alternative is to use a compass, and I don't have a really good compass. What I have is the app for my phone, and I found that it is not nearly accurate enough if you want to get a true east-west layout on your panels. So I'm just going to use the shadow. The sun don't lie. So you just got to know exactly when solar noon occurs, and it's coming up here soon. So I'll do that here in a few minutes. Anyway, that's kind of the update. I'm gonna try to do a video of the installation of the ground mount, and it'll be in pieces. So I'll do the first one where we put the poles, the anchors into the ground, and get that all laid out, and then I'll come back later and do the actual build of the solar ground mount. So more to follow. Thanks. Okay, so I'm setting up to set up my solar noon experiment, I guess. I have a pole that I've driven where I'm going to put the southwest corner of the array, and I've driven it in the ground, and just level it up, and right now you can see I'm off on that back corner. That back corner, according to this, would fall like right here. I still got about 8 minutes before solar noon. I really don't think it's going to move that much in 8 minutes, but that's kind of the gist of it. You just need something nice and straight. I found a piece of tubing that isn't bent. I drove it in the ground right there where the southwest corner is going to be located, and I'm going to locate this one, and once those two are located, I can just measure off of them in order to get my square and get the rest of these located exactly where they need to be. So I don't know, we may be close. I'll come back here in just a minute and we'll continue. So it looks like we're right on. We're like a minute out. My pole is nice and square. I'm looking at my shadow, lining it up with the straight edge, and that is right on where I need it to be at solar noon. So this end is set, and it's set at solar noon. So now I've already laid these out yesterday, basically measuring out exactly where the post will lay, making sure the spacing between the north and south post is correct, and I also measured on the diagonal to make sure my diagonals are the same, so that I know that everything is laid out square. So I have all my placement now, and I have the ground mount. It showed up today. So I just got to get on the schedule. The guy that's going to come out and set the anchors in the ground for me, and we'll go from there. Thanks.